Well, there's something about cookies that really draws a crowd. Chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, peanut butter. I could go on and on and on.
Please don't, because I'll start drooling. And I'm just getting hungry thinking about all of these food options. And it's a good thing we're making a batch of cookies right here in the ciKitchen.
Yeah, we've brought in U of I student chef Josh Heiger from the Bavir Cafe. You've got a great cookie recipe. So what kind of cookies are we making?
So today we're going to be making a flourless double chocolate cookie. So one of the advantages of taking out the flour is it makes it gluten-free. And we're using oatmeal, which is going to help bind the cookie together and also thicken it up. And all oatmeals naturally are gluten-free. Some of them pick up gluten in the factory or something like that, but for the most part, oatmeal can be considered gluten-free.
So do you feel like gluten-free cookies taste just as good as regular cookies?
I think that these do. I can't speak for all gluten-free products, but I've made these before and they're very good.
Is this one of your own recipes?
This is from Bavir Cafe.
Okay, so how do we get started?
All right, so the first thing we're going to do, and I've got all the ingredients measured out,
All right.
is we're going to put...
We're ready to dump and go.
See, that looks like flour to me, but you said it's
It's not.
flourless.
This is actually powdered sugar. So we're going to put 10.5 ounces, which is all 3 of these,
Okay.
into the bowl.
Okay, let's talk cups here.
Sure.
Why do we do ounces? Does
So,
it really make a difference?
The reason why we use ounces is because we're trying to standardize our recipes. And you want to standardize your recipes and move them into weights because everyone can use a scale and measure out 10.5 ounces. But if I tell you and Joe to measure out 1 cup of flour, we're all going to get different amounts.
Good point. I
That's
never really
great.
thought about that.
Baking is very precise, and when you're making a sauce or something, you can adjust the spices and the salt and things like that.
Right.
But once you put this in the oven, there's no going back. So we're trying to get
Good point.
we're trying to get everything as exact as possible.
Okay, so we got our powdered sugar going.
So then we have 2.7 ounces of cocoa powder.
Ooh, there goes our oven. Our oven's
And I
ready.
preheated the oven. It's a convection oven. I preheated it to 325 degrees.
Okay.
And then the cookies are going to bake for about 15 minutes, and we're going to rotate them once throughout.
Oh, okay, so we've got our powdered sugar and our cocoa powder.
2 ounces of oatmeal.
All right.
And Joe, actually, if you want to start separating these
Thank you,
eggs,
Joe, for giving Joe a job as he just stands there and watches
we're
me
only
work.
going to be using the egg whites, not the yolks.
All of them?
Yes, five egg whites. So, and the reason that we separate,
It's so much harder than you dumping pre-measured things in there. Jeez.
I'm going to show you how I do it, okay?
Please, can we get a close-up on
Okay,
this?
so you crack it, and then you just kind of let it drip, and then you just go back and forth.
Okay,
Is
well,
this how you do it at the Bavir, Josh?
that is how I would do it.
Okay.
you like eggshells.
And another, something that I actually do
Uh-oh,
is
he's got a better trick for us.
Oh, yeah, Josh, please.
Yeah, you do it.
I do it
I'll
the
do
same
nothing.
way,
I'll continue
but
to do
I
nothing.
prefer to crack it into a separate bowl and then dump the egg white in, just in case, like you said,
Right.
if I get an egg yolk or...
Josh, I'm being a risk taker here. I'm
That's
going
good.
for it.
Heather, this is disgusting.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. You're doing a really
You
good
who
job.
have not
okay,
even
see?
cracked
so
the
Josh,
first
here's a
egg.
question that I have because
Yes.
some unnamed sources have told me that when you're dealing with like gluten-free desserts, that usually that means there's much more sugar. Is this true? Can you stump this?
I don't think that there is any more sugar because the sugar and the flour actually add different qualities to the ingredients. Everything you're adding brings something, whether it's tenderness, sweetness, different flavor combinations. And so the flour is going to make it bind together. And so we don't actually need any more sugar because we're replacing the oatmeal with the flour. So the oatmeal just takes all the properties.
Myth busted. Myth busted. Oh, and you're putting some shell in there, I think, Josh.
Did he?
No.
No, he
You
didn't.
lost
No,
that.
he didn't.
I was very close.
And I
You
guess
did
I
a good
shouldn't
job.
talk because I've done.
So we've got a
Zero work.
towel if you'd like it. And when we're working with
Thank
raw
you.
egg products, we should really be washing our hands, but that's okay.
you guys can
Oh,
do it
Josh.
in the break. Commercial break.
That's neither here nor there. Okay.
So right now we're going to be whisking all this together,
I'll take the chips.
Oh, yes.
No,
you.
I was gonna-
Oh, okay.
and we're
Chocolate
going to add
chips.
a little bit of salt. And so you add salt to things, not only for the saltiness, because we don't really want that in the cookie, but also because salt's a flavor additive.
I'm just getting over here a little closer to you, Josh, because Joe has a knife in his
And
hand.
so next we're going to chop these chocolate chips. Because once we have this dough all incorporated together, we're going to add the chocolate chips right in. So if you
Okay.
would like to chop
So
the
what's
chocolate
the
chips.
secret to chopping and not hurting your co-host
So
or yourself?
if you'd like me to,
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah,
why don't you
come
go
over here.
Come right
I
over
think
here.
we're just about out of time. So give it a quick little chop
All right.
example, and then we'll let
So
Joe
you're
work
gonna-
during
And
the
I
break.
avoided work again. Very good, Josh. Excellent. Heather,
That is some good
Nice
chopping. Okay, these are actually at the Bavir Cafe on their menu every other week.
Yes, every other week.
So if you want to check them out, head to the Beaver Cafe, and we'll have the recipe hopefully up for you soon. So keep chopping. We're going to get to dropping our cookies and see how they turn out here.
And coming
in a
up
little
next,
bit.
we are visiting with Zoo Improv. Stay with us.